6 hours after Tyler Robinson allegedly shot Charlie Kirk dead at Utah Valley University, he did something that defies all logic. He walked up to police officers who were guarding the exact spot where he dumped his murder weapon. This isn't speculation. Fox News sources have confirmed that Robinson actually made contact with law enforcement at the wooded area where investigators later recovered his rifle. The same rifle he allegedly used to kill Charlie Kirk on September 10th. Think about this for a moment. Most killers would be racing home, destroying evidence, maybe fleeing the state. Robinson was having casual conversations with the very officers investigating his crime. But here's what makes this even more disturbing. Robinson didn't stumble into this encounter by accident. He deliberately returned to Utah Valley University campus with one specific goal: retrieve that discarded weapon. Bo Mason from Utah's Department of Public Safety confirmed the timeline. Around 6:30 p.m., exactly 6 hours after the shooting, Robinson approached the wooded area where his rifle was hidden. The contents of his conversation with that officer remain classified as part of the ongoing investigation. Picture the scene from that officer's perspective. You're guarding a crime scene, protecting evidence in a murder case, when the actual killer walks up and starts talking to you, and you have no idea who you're speaking with. During those same 6 hours, surveillance footage shows Robinson visiting local restaurants, making ordinary food purchases, conducting what investigators describe as normal interactions. While Charlie Kirk's family was receiving devastating news, Robinson was ordering meals like he just finished a routine day at work. His text messages from that period reveal something even more chilling. No expressions of guilt about taking a life. No panic about getting caught. No regret about destroying a family. Every message focused on one obsession: that rifle. Robinson's texts centered entirely on what his father and grandfather would say about the missing weapon. Not about spending his life in prison. Not about the murder he'd committed. Just disappointment from family members over a lost rifle. This level of emotional detachment goes beyond typical criminal behavior. Robinson treated the murder as simply one task in a larger mission that wouldn't be complete until he retrieved that weapon. But Robinson's planning reveals a dangerous contradiction. He was methodical enough to position himself for the shooting, yet made critical errors that suggest something deeply disturbed in his thinking process. Investigators found a screwdriver left on the rooftop, direct physical evidence linking him to the crime scene. He dumped the rifle too close to the shooting location, making retrieval impossible once police cordoned off the area. These aren't the mistakes of a criminal mastermind, but rather someone operating with tunnel vision. Here's where the timeline becomes even more puzzling. Candace Owens released surveillance footage allegedly showing Robinson at a Dairy Queen at 6:38 p.m. on the day of the shooting. This restaurant sits 17 minutes away from the crime scene. If Robinson encountered police at the wooded area around 6:30 p.m., how could he appear at Dairy Queen 8 minutes later? The timing creates serious questions about the authenticity of this footage. Critics have already identified multiple problems with the Dairy Queen image. Missing shadows where shadows should exist. Facial features that don't match confirmed photos of Robinson. Background advertising posters that appear outdated for the supposed date. No visible timestamp verification on the surveillance footage. Does this footage represent deliberate misinformation, or does it reveal an even more calculated pattern of Robinson's movements that day? Consider this possibility. Robinson approaches the wooded area, realizes it's too heavily guarded, retreats to his vehicle, drives to maintain his cover of normalcy, then plans to return under darkness. That level of strategic thinking while maintaining complete emotional control suggests something far more dangerous than impulsive violence. Mason's interview with Fox News revealed that investigators tracked Robinson's movements to multiple local businesses during the hours after the shooting. He was conducting everyday activities, maintaining a facade of normalcy while police launched a massive manhunt. This behavior pattern raises the most disturbing question in the entire case. Where exactly was Tyler Robinson during September 10th and 11th? His roommate Lance Twiggs didn't see him return home. His parents were calling him repeatedly, indicating he wasn't with family. Text message exchanges show his relatives demanding photos of the rifle, but Robinson's physical location remained unknown. Lance Twiggs received messages from Robinson discussing potential surrender, yet nobody could locate him during those crucial 48 hours. If he wasn't at home, wasn't with family, and wasn't with friends, where was he spending his time? The possibility that investigators are reluctant to discuss publicly is deeply unsettling. Did Robinson remain in the area surrounding Utah Valley University, circling the crime scene like a predator waiting for the right moment to retrieve his weapon? Imagine Robinson spending those nights parked near campus, watching police activity, calculating when security might be reduced enough for him to access the wooded area. The level of patience and planning required for such behavior goes far beyond typical criminal psychology. His text exchanges with Lance reveal a mind focused on logistics rather than consequences. Discussions about surrendering mixed with concerns about family disappointment over the missing rifle. No apparent processing of the gravity of murder, just operational planning for the next phase of his mission. This compartmentalization of murder as merely one step in a larger process suggests we're dealing with someone who views human life as expendable. Robinson appears to have registered Charlie Kirk's death as nothing more than a completed task, with rifle retrieval being the remaining objective. The psychological profile emerging from this case challenges standard criminal behavior patterns. Most perpetrators experience panic, regret, or survival instinct after committing murder. Robinson displayed calculated patience and single-minded focus on completing his mission. Think about the confidence required to approach police officers while they're actively investigating your own crime. The emotional control needed to maintain casual conversations while standing near evidence of your murder. These actions suggest someone operating with complete detachment from normal human responses. Robinson's behavior during those 6 hours reveals more than just criminal activity. It provides insight into a mind that can commit murder and immediately transition to routine daily activities without apparent psychological disruption. The screwdriver left on the rooftop, the rifle dumped too close to the crime scene, the casual interactions with law enforcement. These details paint a picture of someone whose planning abilities are both sophisticated and fundamentally flawed. As FBI investigations continue, phone records will reveal exactly who Robinson contacted during those missing hours. Additional surveillance footage from businesses and traffic cameras will map his precise movements throughout September 10th and 11th. But the core questions that make this case so disturbing may never receive complete answers. What drives someone to prioritize retrieving a weapon over their own freedom? How does a person maintain such emotional control after allegedly committing murder? And most importantly, what else might someone with this psychological profile be capable of? The encounter between Robinson and that police officer at the wooded area represents just one piece of a much larger puzzle. Every detail that emerges reveals new layers of calculated behavior that defies standard criminal psychology. Robinson's text messages show more concern about family disappointment over a missing rifle than about spending his life in prison for murder. This priority structure suggests a mind that operates by completely different rules than normal human psychology. The timeline inconsistencies, the surveillance footage questions, the missing 48 hours, each element adds another layer of complexity to understanding Robinson's mental state during and after the alleged murder. When investigators finally piece together Robinson's complete movements during those crucial days, we may discover patterns of behavior even more disturbing than what's already been revealed. The Charlie Kirk murder case has exposed something that challenges our fundamental assumptions about criminal psychology. We're not just examining a murder case. We're looking through a window into a mind that can commit the ultimate crime and immediately focus on operational logistics like retrieving evidence. That level of compartmentalization should concern anyone trying to understand what drives certain individuals to violence. The details continue emerging as investigations progress. But what we already know reveals enough to understand that Tyler Robinson represents something far more dangerous than a typical criminal. His behavior suggests someone who views violence as simply another tool in achieving objectives. This comprehensive look at Tyler Robinson's post-murder behavior reveals patterns that will likely influence criminal psychology research for years to come. The case demonstrates how some individuals can commit the most serious crimes while maintaining operational focus and emotional detachment that defies conventional understanding. That's our deep analysis of the Tyler Robinson case and the disturbing 6 hours that followed Charlie Kirk's murder. Subscribe to Crime Shade for more investigations that reveal the shocking truths behind the headlines.